Hillbrow, Johannesburg, also famously known as South Africa's red light district. This is where you can find almost anything you're looking for. It's also a stone's throw from some tertiary institutions, making it a student hangout. But while parents think their children are studying, some are frequenting Hillbrow's nightclubs, partaking in live sex shows with sex workers. Most of them use their pocket money, some their bursary funds. Prostitution is illegal in South Africa, and we also discovered that the age of consent is not enforced in these nightclubs. A sex worker steps onto the dance floor and chooses someone to have sex with in front of a crowd of onlookers.
After undressing him, we can have sex. Even we can do 3 round or 4 round there. Nobody's business.
It's illegal, yeah, but it's fun, you know. Most of the things that are fun are illegal, you know.
Tonight we expose 2 of these live sex show nightclubs in Hillbrow and find out what lures university students to spend their funds there. It's Friday night in downtown Johannesburg, where there's a flurry of activity with university students wanting to let loose. Vusi, not his real name, is also a student. He says he spends some of his bursary money every month going to live sex shows.
During my spare time, so most of the time we go out with my friends, we go to those clubs like Hillbrow and Maxim.
We meet up with him in Soweto. He prefers to talk to us away from prying eyes on campus. For fear of repercussions, he asks that we hide his identity.
What is the main reasons that then makes us to go there? The main reasons is like we like to explore more things about sex and in different styles with different people.
Taking pictures is forbidden. Rules, however, do apply.
Rules are like you are asked to use a condom.
We followed him to one of his favorite spots on a Friday night, Maxim Hotel. An entrance fee of 40 Rand gets you in. You can have a drink, watch sports, even buy a prostitute for the night. Or you can watch a strip show every hour. When it's almost midnight, however, it's no longer just a strip show. A sex worker steps onto the dance floor. Vusi and his friends know exactly what will happen next. The sex worker chooses someone to have sex with as everyone looks on. The DJ in the background cheers them on. Vusi admits being picked can be daunting, but with the help of his mates, it becomes easier.
My peers will be cheering out, but like, you're lucky, man. You can do it. Go on.
We also met 26-year-old Sihle, not his real name. He's since completed university, but like Vusi, he frequented these clubs during his varsity days and still does. He says partaking in these sex shows is a rite of passage for men. He remembers the first time he had to perform.
When I was picked for the first time, it felt like a lot of pressure, you know. You have to do people happy, you know, because that's the aim of why they do these things, to entertain people, you know. So yeah, you feel that sense of responsibility when you're picked.
He admits it would be impossible to have sexual intercourse in front of spectators without a bit of help.
You can't do those things sober-minded. You know, I don't think I don't think like your intuition will allow you. You know, your conscious. You know, you have those things. You know, they need a plug. You know, yeah. So you have to be intoxicated when you do them.
Sihle enjoys going to the same clubs as Vusi. He allowed us to accompany him one Friday night in February, where he happened to get picked by the sex worker. They have sex. He told us the pressure to perform is real.
Not being able to perform there means like you don't know what you're doing. Even if you have performed elsewhere, maybe in the bedroom, no one saw it, you know. So it's kind of like that thing, you know. If you're a footballer, people need to see you playing, you know. If you perform bad in a match and perform good indoors, it doesn't matter. But if you do perform,
Does it make you feel like
yeah, it makes you feel like, yes, man, we can go anywhere now. take me, take me. You'll see, you know, it makes you feel like, yeah, you know.
Does it affect
Now-
your manhood?
Yeah. Pella, that's the only thing that makes men proud.
Parents are unaware that their children, who are supposed to be away at university, are partaking in live sex shows in bars in the city. Vusi explains why he finds this lifestyle so thrilling.
Having sex in public, it's more fun, yeah, than doing it at home. Because at home, the girlfriend, it's somebody uncomfortable with some other things because you haven't explored like us guys as we have explored.
It's better than porn, you know, because it's live, you know, people prefer watching things live.
Vusi believes there's nothing unlawful about partaking in these activities.
It's not illegal. That's because also some of the people who go there, because they don't have partners or they cannot have partners through a normal relationship. And some just go there to aid their satisfactory.
Sihle, on the other hand, says he's aware live sex shows are illegal, but he's confident he will never get caught.
Well, the thing is, I've never experienced such a thing, or I've never went there and saw the police, you know, or police near, or police coming inside and wanting to check whatever. I never saw. So that thought, has never occurred to me that the police can come in and we could be arrested. For me, it's fun. It's illegal, yeah, but it's fun, you know. Most of the things that are fun are illegal, you know.
Precious Mahohodi is head of psychosocial support and services at Love Life, an organization that deals with youth and sexuality. She says they are aware of these live sex shows. According to her, university students are confronted with a level of freedom they have never experienced, having come out of a very supervised environment and family setup.
This could be a space where a young person finds it easy to express themselves without feeling that they are being judged, because you're talking about primarily male young people having sex in public, you know, with other strippers and all of that. This could be a way of just expressing that sexuality as well.
We went to Wits University to speak to a sexologist who explained why these shows often resemble a do or die situation, but there's absolutely no value in partaking in these activities.
They hype it so much so that when you're participating, it's like you acting in a fashion of redemption. So it's like a crisis point where real men have to save an entire generation. So they create that hype that by performing there and doing that live sex show, there's value in it, there's intrinsic value in it. But we know that live performance is nothing but a mere show.
South Africa has one of the highest statistics of rape and abuse of women in the world. Simpiwe Sinkoyi is a psychologist. He says these live sex shows perpetuate gender inequality and may result in severe consequences in future.
Remember, dominance in the social world is male to female. If a sex worker is a female and then a person who wants to participate is a male, even though the sex worker is on stage, the male is still a dominant part in a partner in this encounter. So if someone is doing so to fulfill a certain part of themselves that is lacking, They want to be dominant.
What notions does it perpetuate around issues of gender? And when a young male person feels that they can express themselves publicly in that way, what does it mean for them? And is it the only space where they can explore their sexuality? But it could as well be a way of asserting a male ego power that you otherwise don't know how to express.
We spoke to 31-year-old Beauty, not her real name, a former sex worker who says for 8 years she performed live and sex shows at Maxim Hotel and Hillbrow Inn. She says she's since left.
After undressing him, we can have sex. Even we can do 3 round or 4 round there. Nobody's business.
In front of everyone.
In front of everyone.
And what would everyone be just watching? Would everyone be laughing?
Yeah, everyone being watching me. Is this real, or these people they are playing, or there's something hiding there? You see, yeah, but it's real.
According to her, it's impossible to have sex in front of spectators without the use of drugs.
You can't do it when you are sober. You can't. Even if you are telling yourself that you are professor of a prostitute, you can't.
If you had to then have sex in front of everyone, would you get paid? How does it work?
Of course, because you get paid. Because when they're still there, they are putting the money on you. Yeah, they are putting 100 rand, 50 rand, not more than 50 rand, 100 rand, 50 rand, 200. They are putting it on you. There.
And so maybe then if you had to, how much would you then make?
Sometimes you make 1.8, not less than 3,000.
For Beauty, this kind of lifestyle comes with a heavy cost.
To being a prostitute, it's not good. It's not good in life. Wasting our time, playing with our bodies.
In the absence of feedback from law enforcement agents, we approached 2 legal experts regarding the legality of these activities. Shiraz Vajeth is an associate attorney who specializes in criminal law. He says strip shows aren't illegal, but live sex shows are.
The most easily recognizable crime is that of prostitution. That is the easiest one to identify in this situation. Legally speaking, these are unlawful activities. They constitute criminal offences under the Sexual Offences Act, which specifically prohibits these sexual acts and sexual intercourses for financial rewards, and which include tips.
Attorney Junaid Nur Mohammed, on the other hand, was concerned about no identification being required at the door, something our investigator confirmed.
The identity or the age of the persons that are entering are not verified. So you could get persons entering the club that are underage.
Vajeth says checking for identification at the door is at the manager's discretion. But if minors are witnessing the live sex shows, it's illegal because it's pornography. Then there's the issue of public indecency.
It's open to everybody. So anybody can come in and witness this, and they can have intercourse in front of other people as well. That in itself is public indecency. And from my legal opinion, I would say that is definitely illegal.
In December last year, the city of Johannesburg raised concerns about the illegal sex shows in the city. We approached them to see what action they had taken. City spokesperson Ntatisi Modingwane says they hadn't managed to find these clubs. This despite special assignments having easily managed to locate these clubs. It seems curbing this problem requires the mobilization of various departments who regulate health, local government, crime and bylaw enforcement, a lengthy process while this illegality continues.
There's a number of law enforcement agencies that needs to be pulled through so that we are able to tackle this issue. And I know that with the information that we might get from you, we will be able to pull a team together that will look into these issues and deal with those.
He says this is also a crime of public indecency.
Any place of entertainment where general public have access to gather in numbers is considered a public space, even if it's a privately owned institution.
It seems that the seriousness of this matter only became clear when they saw our recorded footage.
James!
So are they having live sex?
So students go there and the fun in them getting picked and then they have live sex in front of everyone.
And that's illegal. Part of it, I know that they do this, but there's no ways they should be having live sex with it. They can pull you out the audience as part of their show. But there's no ways they can.
Yeah, they're having it. For us, it's an issue of zoning and use.
Yes.
Why are you using a facility for a different function?
Exactly.
It's a land use. You can't do that. I'm shocked personally to see some of this footage. And we trying to get our safety portfolio to look into this issue because there's a lot of contraventions happening.
According to Modungwane, all premises have zoning rights, which stipulate what operations are permitted on them. He says what is happening at these clubs is a violation of the city's bylaws.
The zoning rights are very clear. Magazine, for example, it talks about shops, dwelling units, residential buildings, business purposes, car sales lot, place of public worship. So those rights can be used in that particular property. But there's nothing that talks about brotheling here.
Almost 2 months after we initially approached the City of Johannesburg's officials, there is still no update about what action has been taken, despite their reaction and insistence that something would be done. The Johannesburg Metro Police Department enforced compliance to the city's bylaws. We wanted to interview them about these activities to ask whether they had done anything about them in the past and whether there's a plan to eradicate them. When we approached them, they referred us to the police. The police insisted on seeing our footage and promised to act if they received a complaint. But to date, they are yet to do something about this criminality. We confronted the owners of the 2 clubs that we investigated. Both Hillbrow Inn and Maxime are owned by Alan Cookard, who is not a stranger to headlines. In the past, allegations of sexual misconduct at his business premises have been made. He initially agreed to an interview, but later referred us to his manager. In this hidden camera footage, he denies the existence of the live sex shows.
It's not, no live sex shows.
Normal strip shows.
So they don't have sex with the patrons.
No. How can you do that? You know, we lose our liquor license. Can't do that. People get carried away, that's their own thing, but we don't allow it.
He insists he monitors the activities at his clubs, but denied that the sex shows had gone on every weekend since we'd been researching the story.
Because we understand it's illegal.
Of course it's illegal. There's no two ways about it. It's totally illegal. Strip shows are not. But live sex, no?
We later phoned the general manager, Marvin Rusant. He also declined an interview. He claims not to know about the illegal live sex shows.
Don't you people have other news to do, or other human rights stories of people suffering to write about? If people did that, it's obviously not with my consent over the consent of a business. Even, like I say, I stand on the stripping. I don't have a problem with strip shows, not at all. I actually enjoy them myself. I like to waive my rights here and to see how I stand from a legality point, because I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, I could be set up by a staff member or by somebody, and or anybody, even now my competition for that matter.
He promised to check with his staff, but when we spoke again, he made it clear he wasn't interested in being interviewed.
No, who's gonna agree to an interview?
Sorry?
A smear campaign? Nobody's gonna wanna be interviewed. You think I want to be famous for something that I didn't do? That's not gonna be right. That's against my constitutional right. I'm not gonna do an interview.
Attorney Vajeth says ultimately the onus is on the public to put pressure on the police for them to take action against this illegality.
What should firstly happen is the places need to be shut down. It is an illegal operation, and they can't run a brothel, basically. What they're doing is running a brothel, and that is illegal. They cannot carry on with that operation. And secondly, they need to arrest the people involved in it.
Until the authorities clamp down on these illegal activities, Sihle and Vusi and many other students like them will continue going to these clubs, but their double lives come with a cost.
Parents will be shocked if ever they could find out that we are doing these things when the times they think we are studying.
My community, people I go to church with, my colleagues in other activities of mine, they will crucify me if they saw it was me.
These men have replaced sexual intimacy for the thrill and addiction of living out the fantasy these clubs provide.